So I'm not sure if you're familiar with this with OpenAI. So OpenAI is, I forget which company it's out of. It's essentially a large language model that's trained on, I don't know, gazillions of billions of data points. And essentially you can use this OpenAI, which is still in beta mode, to do random stuff related to text and related to code. So I'll show you something quick. Tell me a story about how a chicken crossed the road. So what this does, you tell this language model that based on the input that I've provided you with, do something. And in this specific thing, we're providing it with inputs related to we're telling it to create a story related to chicken, road, some sort of a crossage. So it's going to take this information and it's going to produce a story. Right. So depending on how complex you want this stuff, you can modify the input. You can modify the output length. You can modify the model that you're using. Ada is the least capable one, but it's also the cheapest to use. The DaVinci one is the more complex one, as in it's trained the most, and it's the one with the higher resolution kind of thing, high resolution output kind of thing, higher accuracy or detections or better results kind of thing, depending on the application. So what it did here is that it told us a story about a chicken that it once crossed the road to get to the other side, which we didn't tell it. For example, it learned on this information that it crossed the road, so it crossed to some other aspect, which is the other side of the road. And apparently it was a brave chicken inspired by other chickens that also crossed the road. Let's see another one. Let's see. Create a, this is like the prompt. You can tell it what to think or how to prompt it. The prompt is, this is a conversation between a user who's a person and AI, which is a sentient being. So it knows, it's capable of feeling, it's capable of a whole bunch of stuff. Let's see. Create 4 lines of communication between the two. Okay, that was mundane. Let's see. Let's try manipulating this a bit. Do you believe in good and evil? If I can. So, yeah, as I said, depending on how you prompt it to be, you can get really interesting results. this is really cool. This is the text aspect. What I wanted to show you is the coding aspect, which is really cool. All right, so this is literally what I did for the Flask app, which is I said create a web app in Flask in Python using Flask API to create a classifier this web app has two files, index.html and style.css. The web app is a plain web page with a title, image classifier, and a button labeled predict. When a user presses the predict button, what do we want it to do? We just wanted the app returns a classification of the detections or predictions. The web app uploads using the web app. The user uploads images from the local computer or PC or whatever. Okay, let's see what it does. Okay, so we want it to create 3 different files, and we want to prompt it in this way so that it knows that it wants to create 3 different files. So let's see what happens. All right, so it started creating the index.html. Sure enough. Okay, let's continue on with this, and then we'll eventually. Okay. I'm just being lazy. You can increase the maximum length, and it'll do that. Okay, so I think it's going way above beyond what we asked it to do, and we'll see where this ends, kind of thing. Let's see where this ends. Okay, you know what? We don't need the data set, so okay, cool. Okay, so for some reason, okay, so it created what we wanted, what we asked it to do, which is the index.html file. It has a title, this and this. It's linked to style.css. Here, what you want to do is link it to the post, depending on how you want to call it. You can call it predict or whatever, but this is straightforward. This is what it it wanted to do. So the style.css, it just created a blank body with background color. I think this is white. Pretty straightforward. Input, this uploads a file, and when you press submit, it does something. And it changes the color depending on whatever. This is the Flask app. So it imported the Flask render, redirect, whole bunch of stuff. It chose to go with Keras. So what it did is the basic thing, which is the home is just the index, and then when you press the predict button or the upload button here, what it did is, upload folder. Okay, so it uploaded the folder and it saved it somewhere that you specify. It specified the image that it uploaded, so you kind of load the specific image and you set the target size. And just quick side note, if you remember, when we trained our configuration files, we changed those to 416. So if you want to copy and paste those, which is what I did, kind of thing. You want to make sure that you've got the right input for your system, kind of thing. So so what it did is it loaded the image, it prepared it it modified it to fit the model input. So model.predict, if you remember, over there, in the example that I showed you, you can do predict classes, and here apparently it chose a dog and cat model, which is a straightforward model, and I think it started, it even created the infrastructure necessary to, like, this is a DNN kind of thing, and it just created the convolutional layers, like even with the optimizers and activators, all the way to training it, testing it, and eventually saving it as model.h5. I haven't, so this is the first time that I see this, see it going into actually creating the model from scratch. This is really super cool. Yeah, so this went better than expected, actually, when I went than I had in mind in showing this. So just to reiterate, we gave this, we told it a specific description of what it wanted to do. It created not only the files that we asked it to create, which is the index file, the style.css file, and the Flask app. It also went beyond that and actually created a model for this and trained the model, saved the model, and it wanted to do stuff related to the data set. Yeah, so this is, once again, this is the Codex from OpenAI. Really cool. I've been playing around with it for the past few days. So this is what I did for the web app, which is I literally told it something very similar. I told it, for example, the button have it colored blue, which it did as well. So really cool. I just wanted to show you this. All right, sounds good.